Welcome to the Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic medium Karyn Reece with my co-host Alexa Zappia.
Hi.
So, what do you think about working smarter, not harder?
So honestly, for me, that's something that I've actually been living by. There was a teacher of mine actually in high school who instilled that into my brain, where I would make flashcards day in and day out, and I wouldn't study them, but I would just make them just because I felt like that was like studying for me. And then it got to be so counterproductive. And he actually said to me, "You need to work smarter, not harder." And that was the first time that I was like, "You're right. You're right."
A light bulb goes off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a problem today. We're all on this hamster wheel that sometimes we forget that, if you just simply prioritize and, really take a look at what you're doing it, how you're doing it, and block off time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a problem that we have, and especially with people working more from home. I mean, I've always, worked either from home or in my own office, and sometimes I think you lose, time, you lose sense of what you're doing. But by, looking at those things that are more productive and getting rid of those things that aren't,
Yeah.
you're more efficient and you're happier too.
Exactly.
Less stress. That's the biggest key when you work smarter, not harder.
Right. And you're able to control it and manage it more instead of just letting time manage you. You're managing time.
Exactly.
Wow, that sounded really good, actually.
You're getting deep
I gotta
over
just
here.
say, that just came off the top of my head.
But there's only one problem. In my world, there's no such thing as time.
Exactly. There is no
It kind of
time for
morphs. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think that's such a misconception if you want to touch on that, but people really don't, like if someone's on the other side for, let's say, 80 years here, what's it like there?
It's like a beautiful day after, well, it depends on where you go. It's all about landscape. The higher the better, the lower, not so good. And there's multiple landscapes.
Does it rain there?
It depends, but in some, landscapes, oh, sure.
Does it snow?
It does. Well, no offense, we might already be there. We're in upstate New York, just saying. But it's interesting. There's no such thing as time. Actually, funny little story. Einstein, a lot of people don't know this, but he actually had some, understanding of the other world. And he even said that there's no such thing as time on the other side. So he theorized it. Yeah. There's a lot of really great heads in this, that we've had over the, years, scientists and what have you, that you would think they were the least bit interested in alternate realities, but
they're not.
Exactly.
They're very interested.
Yeah, and actually, like people like Da Vinci, not to go off on a thing here for just a minute, he was very efficient with his time, very much so. But he also, had he would intuit a lot of his, artistic endeavors.
Yeah.
But that does go back to time escapes us, and for me, it really escapes me. So trying to manage my time, blocking it off, and controlling, my calendar. Which, at times is just hard to do. We have a very insane.
We're so, like, people literally think that all you do during the day is just read clients.
And talk to dead people and look at futures.
It's not at all the case. We have so many other things going on, and clients are a big part of it, but they're not all of it.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to do.
There's a lot of media things. There's other things that we have to do. And when like you said, when there's no time on the other side, that makes it so hard, right?
We have to really deck out some time, though, for, the casino in the near future.
Why not? Let's go!
And I'll tell you which ones we'll play, because the ones I pick, usually we win.
Yes.
You just use your intuition. What do you think?
I'm all for it.
It's insane. But, hey, we're being managed, we're managing our time. We're working
Exactly.
smarter, not harder. Anyways.
Well, stay tuned for more of the Karyn Reece Show. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. We are so excited to have our next guest with us. They are the owners of Parkview Soul Food Restaurant down here in Buffalo. You might have recently seen them on Restaurant Impossible with Robert Irvine, and they did fantastic there. And now we have Schenita and Harrita here with us today. So welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh my God,
Yes.
I'm so
Excited.
excited.
Very excited.
Amazing. So one quick question, how did you get on the show in the first place, or what drove you? Did somebody tell you about it, or what was your, how did you get on?
They actually contact us. We did not apply for anything, or they were looking for deserving restaurants in the area because they were here, and we were chosen. Someone must have, given us.
It was a blessing. They contacted us and we basically told them our story. And again, it was for deserving restaurants. They actually did 3 restaurants when they were in the area because of COVID. They weren't traveling via airplane. So whenever they went into a state, they would do a few restaurants. So there were 3 restaurants done locally and we were selected. And it was based on need. It was based on need and your story. And the fact that they saw us putting down the floors and the tiles and all of the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into this building, they loved the story, and he understood our passion for wanting to help the community. We fed
Veterans,
we fed veterans,
homeless, shelter people.
Yes, I used to cater on Sundays for senior citizens. As my mother's mom got older, I would say, there are senior citizens in our area that need food. So I would get up every Sunday and cook dinner and drive it to each one of their houses before they passed on. But it's just something that we enjoy doing. And we knew that this building was here. And I've been affiliated with this building or knowing about this building since about 1995,
Right.
when I moved over into this. I live on the street as well. And I used to get mail for this restaurant. So I knew the history behind it. So one day I came down here and I brought the mail down to the previous owner. And I said, well, what's in the back there? Because you would never believe that there's a dining area back there. And he said, that's our dining area. So I said, well, can I take a look? And then I came back up front and I said, I want this building.
How?
So we fast forward to 2017. I go through the auction list every year. By being in banking, I look at everything. So I look at the auction list and I saw this building on the auction list. So I contacted Mr. Sharp and I said, Mr. Sharp, I saw your building on the auction list. Are you going to let the city take the building? And he said, I paid those taxes. So I said, are you willing to sell it? I already knew what it looked like. So I came down here by myself, but there was 50 years of everything in this building.
From top to the bottom.
And I can't do clutter, and I couldn't do it. So I called my mom and my stepdad and I said, I need you guys to take a ride with me. Where are we going? So they knew that they were on my street. And I said, well, just keep an open mind. So we came in here and my mom was looking at me cross-eyed, like, what is she doing?
I can only
What do you want to do?
And then my stepdad looked at me and said, well, Harrita, what do you want to do? I said, I want a restaurant. And they said, well, let's do it. And the rest was it.
That's
Rest is
awesome.
history.
That's a great story.
That's a beautiful.
Oh, let me just add one more thing. There was a ginormous white freezer dividing the bar area and the dining room. The name on the freezer when we got here was McCrae. That's my mother's maiden name.
Oh, our world there.
Yes.
And we had to unfortunately cut it out of the building. It was built inside the building. We had to get someone to come cut it out.
And it was.
That's
my
so
God.
crazy.
So it was meant to be.
So-
This
Yeah.
was meant to be our business.
Yes.
How funny. What a beautiful
Oh my
story.
God, I love that.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and
Yeah.
from cooking to carpentry. So
Oh.
here's a question. Post being on Restaurant Impossible, what challenges or what changes have occurred or, as a result?
As a result, there's been an influx of clientele. I mean, people are coming out because of the advertisement, the show, and they've heard so much about the restaurant until they're just like coming. We almost cannot keep up with the demand
You can't.
because it's just a lot. And, we have to actually have a waiting list or call and make reservations so that we can keep it under control. But it's been a beautiful thing. It's been such a blessing. And
Oh,
so,
Awesome.
We
And
love,
we're hiring. If anyone's a chef out there, we need help.
we need help.
Yeah, well, we need help
We'll be your
too. So
patrons, yeah.
if you can return the favor and help us cook, that would be so lovely.
and I'm trying to come out of the kitchen.
So what is the biggest reward of having this restaurant? Like, obviously it's not been easy at all, but what has been the biggest reward that you've seen throughout your journey?
I would say the fact that we're able to share it with the community, to see the surprise of people's face, the element of surprise when they walk in, they're just like, oh my God, and it's right here in the heart of the city of Buffalo. That's the one thing we wanted to do, was to revitalize this neighborhood. This building was an eyesore. There's a beautiful park outside with a pond. We want to do jazz in the park this summer. There's so much that we have in store for the community.
What a great idea. What a great way to bring people together, food and music.
Exactly. And we've been actually helping the students. We've hired students to come in so that they can get their experience and their credits. And it's been helping them as well.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
Just being able to teach young people from A to Z, we're molding them so that they can move on in life and to become successful at whatever they choose to do.
It's such a
Great.
great thing to do. And they learn in more ways than one. You know, they learn prep work, they learn, from management, how to, deal with people. Because
Customer service,
Service.
telephone sales, because they're on the phones, cross-selling desserts, everything.
That's great.
years ago, I used to waitress and bartend, so I know the industry. It's a tough industry.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I say. Everybody should waitress.
Not easy.
No, exactly.
Love it. I get up every morning at 7 a.m. and start my day, and I don't get home till midnight. My mother's like, I'm tired. I'm like, oh, I'm just so much full of energy.
Now, there's a big age discrepancy there.
Would never know that. So here's $1 million question. How is it like working with Robert? And does he appear the way that we see him on TV, or is he a little bit different?
I think he's a little bit different because I was afraid at first, to be honest. I said to myself, oh my goodness, because I did watch a couple episodes before, so I could know what to expect. But he was actually pleasant. He was very nice, but he meant business. Okay. He was, this is what I want to do, so I can take you to the next level. So he was firm and fair. I would say that he is a gentle person, but have high expectations for who he's teaching.
He has passion for what he does. He summarized it at the end. He said, I can't do my passion. So he has passion for what he does. He's highly anointed. He gave us ideas of giving back to the churches. So now that I'm no longer working the full-time job, I can dedicate more time before my mother strangles me. She's like, you gotta do something. So June 15th is our deadline. There's so much in store that we want to do.
That's awesome.
I just love it. Now, has he followed up at all with you, or do they ever follow up post-show and say 6 months down the road? Because we don't really see that on his show, but.
It's an open door. He gave me, we have his email, we have his producer, their cell phones, emails, his chefs. He sent his chefs back here to work with me and my mom
For a whole day.
for a whole day after the show because he spent so much time with us.
And he said, I don't feel that I give you enough, so I'm sending them back to help you guys. So he did, and that
And-
was a blessing because he did not have to do that.
And he went above his budget when he was here because there was problems with the building, his electrical. He did things in the kitchen. He blessed us in so many ways. But yes, to answer your question, does he follow up? I text him whenever we have a great weekend, or if there's something I need to know, if there's a recipe that I can't forget, because they gave us some recipes too. It's an open door policy. They
Yes.
respond within 4 hours usually. It's awesome. We have friends, we have family within his family.
Oh, I
That's
love that.
awesome.
That's such a beautiful
Yeah.
story.
I love that.
I still like the McRae.
Yeah, well,
refrigerator.
that's meant to be. That's meant
That
to
was like, oh my goodness, that's my last name.
Ah,
Somewhere Mama McRae was saying, guess what, girls?
you need to get this right.
And you're right.
Yes,
Such
you are right.
No,
coincidence.
no. So where can our audiences find more about you? Where are you guys located? Can you give your address, your phone number? Because I'm sure once our audience sees this, they're like, okay, get me in now.
Okay, so I'm going to tell most people, first of all, it's the Old Sharf's Schiller Park Restaurant on South Crossman. But where our address is 34 South Crossman Street, Buffalo, New York, 14211. Telephone number is 716-262-0384. Our website is parkviewsoulfood.com. That's spelled PARKVUESOULFOOD.com.
Amazing.
I
Yeah, right
love
here,
this.
right at the dead end of Crossman. We look like we're in a house, but it's a restaurant. Just drive all the way till you can't drive anymore down Crossman.
I know
That's
exactly
awesome.
where you are.
Well, Karyn and I will certainly be coming, and hopefully we will see you guys there when we do. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We're so excited that you were here with us. This is a really big deal. So thank you guys so much for taking your time out.
Bon appetit.
Thank you.
And thank you for having us.
Can't wait to meet you in person.
Yes.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So as always, anytime Karyn's around, spirits around. So if you would like to connect with Karyn to potentially win a reading, connect with past loved ones, or hear about your future, you can do so by writing in on our website. So you can go to Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ KarynReece.com, KarynReece.com. You can also message us on Facebook. So her handle is at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium. And you can also message us on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. So in your submission, make sure you put your first and last name, phone number, email address, and why you deserve to win a reading. So today we have a very lucky winner with us who wrote in via email. Carly, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Good. So Karyn, take it away.
Quick question. Do you have a good male friend that's gay, really great guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this young gentleman. What an incredible gentleman. When you met him, did you feel that you always knew each other?
Kind of. We have a lot in common. So he is a close person in my life now.
Yeah. You've been brother and sister in multiple lifetimes. So that's why I'm asking. And you can always tell when you meet somebody, like if you like them right away, or maybe dislike them, you've had some kind of past life interaction, good, bad, or indifferent. So FYI on that. So I also see more schooling ahead of you. Were you thinking about going back for more schooling? Because I see advanced degrees all around you.
I wasn't. I did do a graduate program, and I did work in like the college space for a lot of years. So I've done that.
Okay, that's why I'm saying school and advanced degree.
Formal learning I do now, but not I've always liked school, but I wasn't planning on going back. At least I didn't think I was.
Well, I see advanced degrees working in it. I still see another advanced degree, so you'll go for your doctorates. That keeps coming up. By the way, who had a February, March birthday around you? Is it your dad? Usually the birthdays passing through anniversaries. You?
I have a March birthday.
Well, happy birthday from your great grandfather. Happy birthday from your grandfather. Because he was showing me the calendar. Also, because you have that March energy, you have a lot of psychic energy, a lot of the Piscean energy around you. So that is why, and I kept seeing like little fish around you, by the way. I always put them in 2-month increments. Something about driving. Do you get a little nervous with your driving?
Yeah, not a great driver. I can drive, but I am a nervous driver. That would be correct.
Your grandfather says you're a little nervous with your driving. He says not to worry about that. I did see some traveling, by the way, out to Colorado and Utah. So you've got some travel out to the Southwest. That should be an interesting experience for you. I keep going Southwest, and I also see California, and it looks like you're going to have a friend out in California that you'll know that's one of the reasons why you're going. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but I see that all around you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, my mom actually lives in California.
You know, I saw a woman when I said that. And who's the MAR around her? Like a Marie or a Mary, or where's the MAR around her? Marianne?
The MAR is actually probably my mother-in-law is Marcy.
Oh, geez, I got a Marcy. I kept hearing Mar for a mother-in-law, that I saw a woman out in California. You're killing me today. And I felt like a mother.
Yeah, she's moving here.
Mom's
She's actually moving.
Marcy.
Both.
Okay, that
Here. So
have a lot of fun. That's what I see. Yes. And Marcy's been your mother-in-law in every lifetime, just so you know. So yeah, tell your hubby-dubby do that. And I really like your mom. Your mom's a lot of fun. You know that? She could be a good time, your mother.
she can be a lot of fun. That's true.
Yeah. And it's nice that you'll have your mother, so like, you know, they can help watch your children and do all of the above. So on and so forth. When you met your significant other, did you feel like you've always known each other?
Kind of. It was very quick. We met in January, got moved in together in March, and got engaged in September. Or decided to move in together in March. So it was all very quick. Like it was very much we knew.
Yeah, what a great present. Yeah. Well, I love Marcy. Marcy loves you. I love Mom coming from California. I keep seeing back and forth to California. And I looked at a woman. I thought for a minute it was either mother or an aunt or somebody, because that's what your grandfather was telling me. But I really like the hub of your world. I love what I see. I do see children in your future. Do you want to have children in addition to your baby puppy dog?
You very much have children, God willing. It all works out one day.
What's the J connection? Like J's and John, J's and Joe. Where's the J?
His name's Jay.
That's what he says. Tell her, Jay. You know, I kept looking at him and I couldn't hear him real quickly. Just before he said that, he goes, I'm Carly's dad. Let's see. Jay said to tell your father wants me to let you know, be easy on your mother. She might drive you crazy, he said, and he laughed. And he wanted me to tell you he's very proud of where you are. And he's also saying you'll have a chance to do more school. And he said, Carly, well, he agreed with me. He said, your aura looks fabulous too. Jay's laughing about that. He said, there's never a day that doesn't go by that I don't give you a kiss. And he says, you know that I'm there with your grandfather all the time. The name Ben comes up around you too. Do you have a friend named Ben yet? You or your husband? Go ahead.
Okay.
What?
No, I mean, I have a friend named Ben, but it's not like super significant.
Yeah, your father said your friend Ben's thinking about you. That's all he's trying to tell me about that. Tell my daughter she might want to call her friend Ben. Ben's been thinking about you. See what happens when you're on the other side. Your dad knows what's going on. Did you write something to your dad, or do you write in your journal? Or you write something?
I wrote the eulogy.
That's what he's talking about.
God, the
Sorry
title
about that.
was just knocked right
He
over.
said something writing after my passing. I didn't know, I couldn't hear Jay real, because it takes a lot of energy. Hang on, Jay, you're talking fast. He loved what you wrote. He said, tell my daughter it was the most beautiful thing ever. It was so heartfelt. And he said, I know these times are sometimes tough, but I'm just still there with you. He said, I'm just out of the physical. He confirmed with me, you're gonna have some really cute babies that are gonna look a lot like you, by the way.
Well,
Gorgeous.
they always said just like him.
You do, you look like your dad. And your father said, I want you to know that if he had a chance to stay, he would have, but when God calls you home, it's your time. But he said, your father, hang on, Jay. Jay said, you've got your whole life ahead of you. Do all the things that you want to do. You don't want to leave this earth and say, I should have, would have, could have done that. And also your father hears you when you talk to him. So when you say, hey, dad, this, or hey, dad, that. And also I see you looking at naming your children after your father, like their middle name or whatever you're going to do, because I see you doing that in the future. Cards, do you play cards at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good card player, yeah?
We used to play euchre.
That's what he just said. Really? That's an impressive thing. I've never played euchre, ever. I play slot machines. Your father laughed at that one. He goes, we got good games over here. I go, yeah, I know. He said, my daughter's really good at cards. She's really good at cards. Oh, that's impressive, Carly. Your dad's so proud. And he said, I just want you to know that I'm always there for you. He loves your husband, by the way. You know, he's a good guy. Does he need a haircut though?
Probably. He always wants to get his hair cut.
Father laughed about that. He says he always wants to get his hair cut. Tell me he needs a haircut. And he said, you tell your husband, thank you for taking really good care of my daughter. And he's laughing about your mother coming. He goes, now remember, she might drive you crazy. Don't let her drive you too crazy. She's a good lady, your mom. What's the 1 and the 4, or what's the January, or what's the 4th, or what's the April connection? Was that connected to your dad's birthday or passing?
The 4, my husband's birthday is in April, and my parents are divorced, but their anniversary was in April.
Okay, because that's what he's talking about. So your husband's birthday is April?
Yeah.
And they're in dad's former, gotcha, because he kept saying 4 April. Happy birthday to your husband. He's a good guy. I really like, your dad really loves your husband. He is a good guy. Grandpa likes him too. What's the January? What's the 1 connection? Was it connected to your dad? Usually it's birthday or passing, or the first of some month, or 1/1/11. I'm looking.
In January, my father-in-law passed away.
Okay, that's him, because I heard passing on January, so I got your father-in-law coming in. It's so funny, they all start talking at once. They're good buddies, though, just so you know. Your dads get together, and they love to have a good time, probably at your kids' expenses, but just letting you know that. And your father-in-law is really thrilled that the two of you are together. You really make a good team, your husband and you. And when you start getting your big house, I'll tell you, you'll have a lot of visitors on the other side, your father, grandpa, your father-in-law. But in the big scheme of things, your dad said, I want you to know, I want you to live your life to the fullest. Don't let anything ever stop you. Even when you have moments of doubt, he goes, I'm still there for you. I'll have my arm around you. And he said, you've got a great head on your shoulders. And he said, just know that I'm there. And what you can do, Carla, when you go to bed at night, tell your husband this with his dad, is just tell your dad, I will remember seeing you, Dad. I will remember seeing you. And you'll see your father in your dreams, because you're pretty intuitive. You've got the March energy around you, the Piscean energy, which is natural house of intuition.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, Carly. Hopefully this gave you the healing and the peace that you needed. Karyn, thank you for always doing what you do. And Carly, thanks for showing up today.
Thank you so much. This was very interesting. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. If you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. You can also call our office phone at 716-580-2520 if you would like to inquire about booking a reading or any other questions that you might have for Karyn.
Boy, time flew, no pun intended, but
No
I still
pun
feel
intended.
like we worked smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
You know, we came in, conquered, now we're getting ready to, leave till next time.
Until next time. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I think when people get the work smarter, not harder mindset, it changes so many things.
It does.
Facets of like both the professional side, the personal side, the academic side. Once you finally get a control of that, it changes your entire life.
Well, I think you're no longer on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing when you're
Yeah.
working smarter, not harder, your energy isn't so frenetic. You're not doing something, half-assed and you're trying to correct it the next day and so on and so forth. Because
Exactly.
that happens,
You're not
mushrooms.
doggy paddling. Not to use
Doggy
that again,
paddling.
but truthfully, it's not like you're doggy paddling trying to hold your head above water. You really feel like you have a control over your life.
So if you had one good tip to give everybody about working smarter, not harder, what would you say your number one?
I think it's just knowing yourself and knowing how much you can manage and not taking on too much and knowing when that's a lot of tips actually. That's not just one.
You're not managing your time, but that's okay. You're still giving us
But I'm
more
still
smarter,
giving you a
not
lot of tips.
harder. Yes.
And knowing when you have to back out. And not back out, but back down. Just from saying, okay, I need a break right now, and then I'll come back and do it again.
And looking at priorities.
Yeah.
Keeping the good ones, getting rid of the, or doing something in a different way that's more efficient as
Exactly.
opposed to, always doing things the same way. Sometimes you get more efficiency, in an alternative way of doing it. Technology is a great example. I mean,
Exactly.
as technology continues to evolve, theoretically anyways, it tries to make our life, easier. Unless you're in a Mercury retrograde, and that's an astrological little thing that happens 3 or 4 times a year for 3 or 4 times a week or at a time, and things get all screwed up. Just saying. Yeah.
That's okay.
Anyways.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Karyn Reece Show.